Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Film Geek here, and last night I drove about an hour or so to see the movie Black Swan, because the main art theater... I'm sorry, you guys probably hate watching my videos now because I yawn so often in them. Okay, but the main art theater in Royal Oak is the only movie theater in the entire state of Michigan that has Black Swan, so I had to go see it. And I'm honestly still debating on if I like the movie or not. So hopefully I finish it figure it out by the time I finish talking about it. This movie was fucking weird. It's one of those movies where the entire time it's kind of got you guessing or trying to guess what stuff you see is real and what stuff is all in Natalie Portman's head. And the lines are blurred very, very much, to the point where I was definitely tricked during parts of this movie where I was like, holy shit, that just happened, and then I'm like, oh, it didn't just happen. In one of these instances, and this is kind of a spoiler, so if you don't want to hear it, don't listen. I won't tell you where in the movie or what characters are involved, because... excuse me, I don't want to give it away too much, but there's this one scene where one character begins mutilating herself, stabbing herself in the face. And then the other character that's in the scene gets worried and runs away, runs down the hallway, gets into an elevator, pushes some buttons, and then realizes she's holding in her hand the bloody instrument that the other character was stabbing herself with. What? That was a sweet camera trick on your guys' part. Congratulations, Darren Aronofsky, because that had me freaked. As you guys know, I have an intense fear of things being in the mirror that aren't really there. And this movie uses that effect with things going on in the mirror that aren't happening outside the mirror to amazingness. You guys have all seen the part in the trailer where Natalie Portman is turning one direction, like looking towards us, so her reflection should be facing away from us, and then her reflection turns and looks at Natalie Portman. Like that's only a little bit of the mirror tricks that happen in this movie. Holy crap. I was jumpy because of all the stuff that was going on in the mirrors of this movie. This movie, the acting is out of this world. Congratulations, Natalie Portman. Congratulations, Mila Kunis. Congratulations to whoever it was that played the mother. Congratulations to whoever it was that played the guy in charge of the ballet company. This movie was, the acting was just superb all around. I think everyone in the cast deserves Oscar noms because they all did fantastic jobs. The story, however, was a mismatch. I don't know. It was a mashup. There we go. Of a bunch of other stories. It was kind of the story of the Swan Queen, or the Swan Queen, or what is it? Swan Queen? Swan Lake. Aha! Kind of the story of Swan Lake, which is fitting because that's the story that they do in the movie, in the ballet. Which is where the whole white swan and black swan come into play anyway. So, it was kind of the story of Swan Lake. It was kind of the story of the movie Center Stage, where you've got this prim and proper ballet dancer who strives for perfection and can only find that perfection in not being perfect. It's got some of Mirrors, the movie Mirrors with Kiefer Sutherland, where there's shit going on in the mirrors that shouldn't be, and that stuff that's going on in the mirrors starts to take place all over the place, like throughout the entire world of this film, or at least the main character's world. There were some other like bits and pieces of other stories thrown in, but basically it was like if you take a whole bunch of really cool stories, mash them up together, that's kind of what you had here. In some places, it worked really well. In other places, not so much, because it left so many questions open. For instance, the scene that I mentioned to you before about the whole stabbing and then the weapon being in her hand. We never come back to see if that was actually real or not. They never go back to the character that was stabbing herself. And so, like, I'm like, okay, I want to know if that actually happened, or which side of it was true, if either side of it actually happened. I just want to know. And there are just a couple things like that that just led more questions than answers. But in some cases, like the ending, it didn't matter because it was just amazing in its weirdness. So I guess I did like most of the movie, but there were parts of it that I wasn't too fond of. And like I said, it was just really fucking weird. So I'm going to go ahead and give Black Swan a 4 out of 5. It's definitely a good movie. You should definitely check it out if it comes near you. I know it's still in limited release, and it probably will be in limited release until the Oscars hit. But I think it's a good movie, but I think some of the plot holes and some of the questions and some of the weirdness make it not good enough for me to give a perfect rating to. Do I think it deserves an Oscar nomination? I think that the actors do, but I don't think that the movie itself does. Darren Aronofsky deserves it for his direction because it definitely had some cool twists on it. And I thought the special effects in it were out of this world. But do I think it deserves an Oscar nom for Best Movie of the Year? Maybe, maybe not. So once again, Black Swan, 4 out of 5. Check it out if you get a chance.